Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome to Life on Track. This is all about helping you get into the driver's seat of your own life, not my life, not our guest Asia's life, your own life, not society's life or anything else. And as you know, this TV show started with Work Love, the principles in this book, and which came out in 2021. I thought to myself, when the pandemic happened, what's the creative opportunity here? Because I don't go into worry, I go into solution. And so when everything was the sky is falling here in New York, I thought, what's the creative opportunity here? And work love came to be because so many people in the workforce felt disheveled and displaced and isolated, really. So I love it. And then the principles in another favorite book of mine, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book is fabulous for an amazing lifestyle that you can create for yourself. So I want to get right into this because we do have an amazing guest. And I first want to tell you guys, my event is coming up next month, October 24th. It's an event. It's a networking luncheon at the Westbury Manor. And the tickets are available now at lifeontracksummit.com. It's in person. We're having 7 speakers, food, music. It's going to be high energy and just massively inspirational and motivational, empowering for female entrepreneurs and celebrating the men who support them. So let me bring on my guest now to get into Asia because she's just amazing. Asia Lee. And now you guys, normally I say, okay, let me just read the bio, because I don't want to leave anything out. But today we have a super, super, super gift for you. Asia is an amazing friend of mine. And I've known Asia since 2011 or 2012. And she has been inspiring and transforming lives all day, every day through her art. And she's absolutely incredible. She's beautiful inside and out. I've never met somebody so beautiful in my life. And I just want Asia. I want you're such a gift for us today. I want you to tell everybody listening, how did you get into doing what you're doing and why?
So my girlfriend was taking a black and white developing course, Maureen Hanaway, and she loved photography. And she asked me if I can keep her company. So I had to buy a camera because this was back in the day. I'm going to date myself, film, negative.
Was there with you?
So I've done, I guess this was my path because I didn't even have a camera in my hand for a year. So that course was the Adult Dad in Hollow Hills, September. That summer, I was shooting the U.S. Tennis Open. Okay. The wide world of sports. Photography for Madison Square Garden, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, like all this incredible stuff opening up to me. So I started off in the events and sports, and I was the first female sports photographer for the USTA, official USTA. There's female photographer magazines and stuff. But yeah, so I didn't look at it as like, this is where I was going to go. I still had a job. I was a director of a company and stuff like that. But I always was drawn to this. And I love doing people, as you know, just making them so beautiful, because photography of people, nature, anything is how you use the light and capture. There's just 2 things. It's light and composition. So if you don't look good in a photo, it's not you. It's not you. Okay.
You know me, I'm not a fan.
Well, you were amazing in that Lady in Red for that charity calendar. I mean, absolutely stunning. You have to post that for all your fans to see, because it is just so beautiful. You are so beautiful. And it was a pleasure working with you back then.
That was fun. That was so fun. I mean, with Joanne's nonprofit Moms Who Kick, and you are an extraordinary mother, and you were, what was her name from the movie? What was her name?
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore and Striptease, right?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was so good. I was Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. What month were you again?
Excuse me?
What month were you? Do you remember?
I'm not sure. I didn't pay attention. Like me personally, I did not pay attention to me, but one of my favorite was Barbara on the airplane. Remember, she was the 50s. Oh my God, she was so beautiful. She is so beautiful. And it was so sad because she passed like 2 months after that shoot.
I know.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like life is so precious, and to just really enjoy every sunrise, which I do.
Which I see you capture every morning. Like you, I don't know what time you get up, Asia. I know it's early. It's super early because you are capturing the sunrise every day, and in such a beautiful artistic way. On you're climbing trees, and you're with the birds, and I mean, just extraordinary photography that you do, and the videography also. Is so beautiful. Can you tell us about that?
Well,
Because, God,
it started off with discipline, which a lot of us think that when we want something, it just comes because we have a passion, we love it, or whatever. But to succeed in anything and to get that reward is a discipline.
yeah.
And so I made a commitment that I was going to catch a sunrise for 7 days, because I used to just love staying in bed till 11, like just really not be disciplined. And then that 7 day turned to weeks, months, years. And now I am not as stringent that I have to do it every day, because I know that I can. And even now, the night before, if I say I'm going to catch a sunrise the next day, I have to, no matter what. I have to keep that word to myself, and that self-discipline. And even after all these years, after a decade later, my brain will still make excuses. Oh, you were up late last night. You need your sleep. Oh, it's so cold out. No one's going to miss if you miss a day of, like, I have all these excuses still, and I have to override it and just get out of bed. I'm doing this because I said this, and make this commitment and discipline, and keep track of what I say to do it, and
And
that's
that
so important, because your subconscious is always listening to you. So if you lie to yourself, and the next time you want something and manifest something, your subconscious will say, well, you said you're going to get up and you didn't get up. You said you were going to go to the gym and you didn't go to the gym. Like, why should I believe you want this now? So you have to be in alignment with your conscious, subconscious, and that super conscious of total alignment. Keep on.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And focus, the power of focus,
Yes.
is so incredible, because what we focus on expands. I always say what we think about, we bring about also, with regard to the power of the subconscious. And
Exactly.
it's all through repetition, all
Well,
through repetition. God.
well, we are driven, like humans. We don't realize it, but we're driven for what we want. So you have to be so clear on what you want,
Yeah.
and go in that direction. Like, get all your fears and worries out of the way before you do it. And once you do it, you're in it 100%. There's no wavering. See it so, so clearly. And that's kind of like where my life is, where it is now, from where it used to be. Where it used to be, I had no discipline, no direction. I was chasing happiness. I thought that was life,
Mm.
just to be, like, but you cannot be happy without discipline, with
Right.
having a goal. We are goal seeking organism, where, so once you realize that, and that suffering for a purpose, which is like some mornings, like going out in the cold or what, like, when you do that, it is so fulfilling and rewarding. And besides that, nature is so rewarding, and it keeps me balanced. So
And
I
I want to
hope
get in.
to share that with others, to just really spread this unconditional love from nature, because people do feel it.
Yes. And I want to get into the power of hope. You and I talked about that before coming on.
Yes. So during the pandemic, I saw so much learned hopelessness, and depression. And what a lot of people don't know is that, they see this wonderful life I have now, but they don't see the journey I had to go through to be where I am. And sometimes we don't know, sometimes you need somebody to show the path, because all the self help books, don't always work because we don't always do what we should do. Like I read and read tons and tons of self-help books, but I didn't have the discipline. I didn't do what I should do. I just wished for it without taking concrete action. So the memoir, I finished my memoir. It's called The Dragon King's Daughter. And it's really about inspiring and hope, because when you see what I've overcome and where I am now, you'll feel like, oh, whatever you're going through, it's it's like you can't know what you don't know. So now that you read this, you know what's possible, and hopefully everybody's limits will be gone, and all that BS as in belief system, because learned helplessness is so prevalent, and I am constantly letting the learned helplessness go, which is like if you find yourself seeing someone else do something and you think you can't, that's learned helplessness. Whatever you see you can do, is just that I can't do it. I don't have the knowledge yet. I don't have the system yet, or I can't do it yet. You have to use that word
Yeah.
yet instead of ever can't with yourself.
Yeah.
And also, you'll navigate your priorities. I mean, I want to do so many things, and I understand I can't do all of them at once. So I'm doing the art, I'm doing the biotech. Like right now, I feel so free because a bulk of my years were raising children, and now they're grown. I mean, I coach them in football, baseball, basketball, field hockey. Like I lived on the working full time as a director of sales and marketing, and coaching full time every sport and travel teams. Now it's like, oh my God, I have all this free time. So I'm here to really impact with my story.
Can
And
you share with us a little bit? Can you share with, and I know the story. Can you share with the viewers a little bit about your story, as much as you want to get into, if
oh,
you want to?
yeah, so I was stolen at 5 from my island, and everything about me was made up, and that I'm from Seoul and stuff like that. They had to make everything up so that you can be adopted. And
Okay.
I got adopted into an American family. So just imagine during the pandemic how people were so sad to lose a loved one. Okay. You lost a loved one or a couple of loved ones, and I feel for you. It is heartbreaking to lose grief is love. And just remember that to stay in that, it's okay to have grief. But as a child, I lost my mother, my father, my land, my everything, my culture, and the transcontinental adoption to a family that wasn't looking for a child. They were involved in a religious cult. And I'll just leave it there. Okay. And so The Dragon King's Daughter is about going through this prejudice and trauma of loss and longing for my mother and nobody believing me that I had a family, and me doubting myself, and the sadness and depression and self-loathe, and feeling ugly because I didn't look like the traditional. I was an American, be made fun of. It sounds totally ridiculous now, but I mean, like kids making fun, like Chinese, Japanese, dirty meats, like because I was Asian. So it took a long, long time to get overcome my self-hatred and return to this unconditional love of myself, and non-judgment of myself or anybody else. Like whatever you feel, that's okay. I don't have to accept it. I know that I love me, and I know who I am and what I am, and I return to love. And that love is the only truth. All this other stuff, regret, anger, guilt, all these other emotions that are painful, unwanted, they're there to give us clues. There's no good or bad emotions. They're just there to give you a sense of where you are, but you don't have to live in them. You can, you know, I'm grateful for even when I'm sad. I'm grateful to feel because for a long time I was in such a state of trauma. I had no feelings. I was totally numb. My face looked like it had a smile and everyone thought I was happy. But inside, I was just really dead. And now I feel so alive. I feel so alive and I want to just give back, just radiate love to everyone. Anyone that needs love, I am here.
And
Here.
you do. And you do, since I've met you, which was a decade ago, all day, every day.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's what you've done since I met you. And first of all, I'm so proud to know you. And you are such a beautiful person. I can't believe everything that you went through. I just want to jump through the screen and give you a hug. I know I'm going to see you in person anyway soon, but I just want to just give you a huge hug because nobody should have to go through what you went through.
But
And the
I'm
fact that you
not
transmuted, huh?
I'm not alone. So this is not about my horrific story. We all have learned helplessness and trauma, and I want everyone to know pain is pain, and it's about releasing the pain, releasing the programming, and returning and being who you are, who you're meant to be. You came into this world like this precious, perfect baby of love, and like, what baby do you not see and just love, and they're just so pure, and it's about letting go of what our parents told us, or society, or school, or friends, or bullies, or whatever experiences that you're holding on. It's about letting everything go and being like the sun, the nature, the earth, which is just like surrender to the beauty of you.
I love it. And that's becoming enlightened, really, because the world is programmed to keep us in suffering, to keep us in the low vibe, if you will,
It's
and
that though. It's that the thing is that awakening is to knowing that you have a choice.
yeah,
You but we have, like the learned helplessness, they've done it with animals and stuff.
right.
You cage them and shock them and unable to escape, that when you shock them, even if you remove the cage doors and stuff, they don't try to escape because they learn
Yeah.
that they can't. Then you take somebody who's never been hurt, you put them in there, you shock them, and they jump out right away.
Right.
So we all have this learned helplessness, is being aware. So being conscious throughout the day, where is your thought going? Is it your thought empowering you and leading you to where you want to go, which is your joy, your happiness, your success?
Yeah.
Or are you doubting? Are you scared? Are you worried? Are you stepping back from the direction you want to go? Yeah, so it's constantly being aware. And if you have a hard time, keep a little journal, set a clock on your phone for every hour and just check in with yourself. And but are my thoughts taking me to where I want to, or are they taking me away? It's
And
really
everything is that. Everything is based on our thoughts. What are we thinking? How are we speaking? Because, thoughts leads to the words and the feelings. When you emotionalize a thought, now it's on steroids, good or bad, when we emotionalize a thought. And we have a choice all day, every day. Do we want to make a decision from love or do we want to make a decision from fear? When under the category of fear is the self-doubt and I can't. And under love is I can, and I have the confidence and I have the courage. Even if I don't have the confidence, it's always first the courage, then the confidence. And you saw me, I mean, I became fully aligned with myself when I was 25 with the cancer. And most people watching, they know the story of that and the journey with that. But that's when I developed a really great understanding of the whole inner world. Before that, I thought I was what I learned in fifth grade with the organs and the blood and the bones. And, I thought that that's all it was. Even my faith in God was outside of me. Everything was outer world based. And my heaven was outside of me until I was diagnosed with cancer. And I read so many personal development and professional development books. I craved it. I was like that woman, Rhonda, from the beginning of the movie, The Secret, couldn't get enough of it. And that's when I learned about the whole inner world. And I kept living. Every time they said I die, I went on to have 3 kids that they swore would never happen. Like miracles just kept happening. And that's how I started life coaching in the 90s, because doctors started having their patients call me at home, and I did it for free for years. But and I know based on what I've done that it all goes back to what we're thinking. What we,
you know what? people, I've heard the saying, you are not your thoughts. But the thing is, your thoughts create your emotions, and your emotions create your reactions, and your reactions create your personality. It creates who you are.
Yes.
So you are your thoughts.
Yes. I don't know who said that you're not, but
Constantly be aware of your thoughts and
yeah,
how are you treating yourself? Are
yeah.
you treating yourself with love? Are you and what and I love this technique that I've done for a long time, which is anytime somebody triggered me, I wouldn't judge them. I would look within me. Where do I still have this in me that I am judging them? Because if I was 100% confident and secure, I would not be judging anybody. If I did not have it in me, I would not judge anybody else. So we cannot see what we do not have. We cannot see what we don't know. Like if I asked you to name a movie right now that you've never heard of,
Right. Right.
so
Good luck
and
with that.
so being aware of this, that everyone is our teacher,
Yeah.
that anytime we get triggered, because they are going through their own journey, their own thing. We are not in their head. We have no idea. It's that it's really coming from a place of love. It's just continuously giving love. And for me,
Yeah.
I'm just giving really like I just feel that it needs to be more and more love.
Yeah.
And there's so many horrible things happening in the world, and I could jump on the bandwagon and be angry and mad.
No.
But how does that help?
No.
Me
Yeah.
by
It
going
doesn't.
lower, how does that help? Me by going higher, by just this joy, having joy, spreading joy, helps the whole vibration go up.
Totally, and a little bit of love cancels out a lot of darkness. I really believe there's a spiritual warfare going on right now between light and dark, and it just takes a little bit of light, a little bit of love to cancel out a lot of darkness. So I wouldn't want anybody to go into, even when I was going through the divorce, and you were there, you saw, I mean, it was just there was so much going on at that time. My sister was diagnosed with cancer. I became the point of contact. My kids were shocked. Like there was just so much going on. And I went into fear, lack, and scarcity, for a short amount of time until I said, Erin, you have to do what you did with the cancer. My identity was in question, my future was in question, and it was like plucking me out of 1980s and dropping me into like 20 something, and I had to start from scratch. But I started meditating within the first 17 seconds, and I stopped fighting with my ex, constantly because it was not serving either one of us. So anytime I felt like I was about to be triggered, I would just say, I pray for you. I pray for you. And prayer is a form of love. You don't have to defend yourself and explain yourself. And you could just pray, and when I said that, he wasn't too happy about it, but I felt a lot better.
If the other person is aggressive to pray, you don't have to say pray. You can just say it for yours within yourself and just radiate that. What you said about light is so powerful. Just
Yeah.
just think when you're in a dark room, how one candle lights that whole room.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
yes,
All
light is
right.
very powerful. Mhm.
So, and love and light. Like, if just, I want people all day, every day, just practice. And a great way to do that is if you're in fear, just think about anything you're grateful for,
Yeah,
because you can't be in fear and in gratitude at the same time. And gratitude, appreciation, it's a great place to be. That's the only place to be in the present moment, because you'll manifest, you'll create whatever you're thinking about in the present moment and whatever you're feeling in the present moment, good or bad. So
yeah.
place is gratitude. Go ahead.
And it's really difficult to go into that place of gratitude when you don't feel it. So it's not just going into that place of gratitude, it's retraining your brain. So
Yeah.
the first thing you do in the morning is just think of things that you are grateful for, because there is always something that you do love. It could be recently happened, it can be from your early childhood. I mean, like my morning gratitude, I go back to my mother's arms nursing. That's how far back I go,
Aw.
because that memory, I am so grateful for that warmth, that love that I needed almost all my life that I was stolen, missed. So I prime my brain with gratitude before I start my day, and prime your brain before you go to sleep. It's
Yeah.
kind of like saying your prayers.
Yeah.
You think of the day and you think of the things you're grateful for, because we have a tendency to replay negative things. We could have 100 good things happen or 100 nice things people say, and that one bad comment or and we replay it. So you have to retrain your brain to replay all the good. And that doesn't happen automatically. If you're in that negative zone, it's really difficult to go into that positive zone.
It takes work.
So you have to do the work. You have to be disciplined on a daily basis. Set the time, do it in the morning, do it in the evening. You have to do the work. There's no magic pill or cure or instantaneous gratitude and poof, your life turns around. That brain is a muscle. It's a muscle, and it's reprogramming it. It's constantly reprogramming it.
I agree. And awareness is huge. So even with the gratitude, when you're aware of the fact that you have to be intentional about practicing gratitude, like it has to be like homework. Like it's got to be, okay, I'm aware of the fact that
Homework right now.
I call it success work. Write it down. Success work for the week. But it's just really, you have to be intentional about doing this. And it's like any kind of a muscle. It takes work you have to constantly practice it and practice it and practice it and train it, like working your arms out or something like that. It's the same thing with the mind.
You're literally increasing the gray matter in your brain. So this is scientifically shown. And people that have very little gray matter, they get angry instantaneously. They don't have that buffer between something happening, your reaction. You have a split second to choose how you want to react, how you want to think about it, how you want to interpret it. So when you do the mindfulness or gratitude, you are giving yourself more of a buffer than instantaneously reacting. So that more buffer, then you're choosing to go into that happy zone. And the more you choose to go into that happy zone, the more you are creating that gray matter.
I love this. And that's when you're in the driver's seat of your own life, as opposed to life driving you, hence
Exactly.
life on track. And I met Dr. Joe Dispenza at a conference that I was at, and I love that guy. And I actually interviewed his scientist, Jeff Fannin, who I got to be friendly with, who worked with Dr. Joe Dispenza in the beginning for like 10 years. But he really put the whole science, he took the spiritual things and he backed it by the science, but he showed it on MRIs and all this wonderful stuff, and it is, like, it's so funny. So many people, they question it, but we don't question gravity, like if things just hit the ground, we don't know why, but it's universal law. But spiritual law it's just as happening, just like gravity is. Gravity's physical law, the law of reciprocity, the law of attraction, the law of karma, the law of, there's so many universal laws that if people learned more. God,
started writing a quantum physics book, right? That's how I got tracked, because I wanted people to understand the science of changing their life. But then I realized that a self-help book, a science book, will not have as much impact as my story, which will have an emotion, the emotional connection to see and to be able to relate of overcoming. So I want to go back into that science. So back in the late 1800s, maternal death rate was as high as 80% in the hospital, which we know, right? And do you know why? Germs. They didn't wash hands. They'll cadavers, right?
Right.
Then go deliver babies. We cringe at that, right?
Right.
Our thoughts is energy.
Right.
Someday they're going to cringe at how we were thinking, how we didn't realize how our emotions and our thoughts were creating the reality for us. So that's where we are right now, because we're getting more and more science to show how our thoughts are energy and how we are truly creating the lives that we get.
I love this. And we really are elevating as humans, from quantum physics and learning more and more and more about that faster and faster now. And Dr. Amato, did you ever hear Dr. Amato with the water bottles?
Yes.
Spoke to the water bottles, and some he spoke to positively, like you're beautiful, and and some he spoke to negatively, and then he froze them, and the ones that he spoke to positively crystallized into beautiful crystals, and the ones he spoke to negatively crystallized, into not so beautiful. And we're at least 80% water. With our bodies are 80% water. So I always say, like, we really have to guard our thoughts carefully and how we speak to ourselves. And the self-love is so important because homeostasis, like I really believe in the meditation and visualization and what I did, and the doctors do too, that I cured myself when they thought I was going to die because I brought my body back to homeostasis. And if everybody understood this, and with the self-love, and then you're giving off that energy, our energy is so expanded if you allow it to be, right, Asia? And some people have it like a fist inside of them.
You did the work. It's not like, oh, I want to be cured and just like.
No, I worked my butt off.
Exactly. And that's what I want people to understand is that discipline. It's the discipline for yourself to where you want to be, where you want to go.
And it's with relationships, and it's even with business.
Exactly.
I went to, like, I mean, I can't even, like, nothing. I had like nothing. I told you $5 in ShopRite, and please let it be enough for the milk and bread during the divorce. And now I went to 6 figures, and I have a coach to help scale me to 7 this year. And it's just like unbelievable. But I worked my butt off.
Yeah.
Like I did not just the physical work and showing up everywhere, but the emotional. Huh?
And you got the coaching, and you got people around you to help.
Yeah, I could never have done it alone.
You didn't do it alone. And that's another thing is that, we have this community. There's so much help. There's you. There's, like so much available now because we have the internet to reach each other.
Yeah. And I have clients around the world.
Yeah.
I have clients in Spain. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I want to also speak about quickly, and this time goes so fast with you, and I love you, your inspirational art. I want you to talk about your inspirational art, and then we'll get into your contact information.
Okay. So I have an exhibit, and it's really about nature because I want people to remember that they come from the earth and they're part of the earth. So it's this connection of unconditional love. And that's what a lot of people feel with my work, even though it doesn't have hearts or anything. It could
Gorgeous.
be a water or anything. People feel that love. And I was in Heckscher Museum, my piece of work, and AP art students had to select a piece and write something. First, second, and third place winners chose my piece. That's not the amazing part. The amazing part is that they all wrote essays about love or somebody they loved that they lost. They did an inspirational piece with hearts and stuff. It was just mind-blowing. And this piece was just a tree.
Yeah.
That's what's so amazing.
But it's not just a tree with you. It's not just a tree. It's a gorgeous
energy. It's everything energy. So it's
the tree has personality. The tree is giving off, like you said, yes, energy, and the energy you're putting into the painting, is everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And you're so incredibly gifted. And I want people to check out your art because you're a blessing in this world. And literally just looking at your art, you feel better. Even on Facebook, I see you post something and then within just seconds, you have like 300 likes and loves and comments and, and you're touching people all day, every day. How can they reach you?
Well, my website is omabumi.com, or they can email me asialee@me.com.
Okay. Asia Lee. I don't have that in my banners.
They can reach me through the website or through my name.
You're so good, Asia. You're such a blessing, and I'm so blessed.
And I am so incredibly inspired by your journey and knowing you 10 years ago and where you are today. You are such an inspiration.
I keep saying I've never been happier, healthier, and wealthier in my life than I am now. And it's just I found the inner peace.
Yes.
I found the love and the inner peace. And I believe at the end of the day, that's all anybody's searching for. And it's through love. It's the journey to love that you actually gain that inner peace.
And you have to do the work to get to that journey of love. This work.
Yeah.
This knowledge.
and surround yourself. We are the sum total of the 5 we surround ourselves with, you
Yeah.
know, and I have you as part of my circle. And
Thank
I'm
you.
telling you, you're a blessing. You really are. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Asia Lee, absolutely extraordinary. Don't run, don't walk, run, and go check out her work. She's, oh my God, so beautiful. And you'll be able to see this show on Apple TV and Amazon Fire and Roku and all the big, you know, those big on streaming outlets, as well as my social media and my new YouTube channel. So you can hit subscribe with
Yeah.
my YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to see the interview there as well. So thank you. Thank you. And everybody have a magnificent day. And always remember to live onward and upward. Love you.